Technician's Brewery. Seriously random.
Cheers, YouTube. As promised, I will do an update for you about all the loose threads that I left you hanging with 2 years ago. And also promised to have a beer in my hand. This is Lervig, the brewery I told you about in the previous video, of which I am going to be representing in a beer festival in June. So this is Hoppy Days or something. It's a New England IPA, and I'm gonna try it. So cheers. Hop juice. So in November 2015, I went to Poland, and we went to Gdansk, and we stayed there for 5 days or something like that. We also visited Sopot, but I have to say I found a lot better beer pubs in Gdansk. Now, one of my favorite, if you ever happen to go there, is a place called the Labyrinth. It's owned by and ran by a very young couple, and they also brew, and they sell some very, very nice local beers. So if you ever go to Gdansk, look up Labyrinth. They have a very nice setup in the basement of a building there, and they have a good selection of local beers. Try their Baltic porters; they are amazing. I'm looking up this other place, which is also epic. So just looking it up here, Pułapka. I'll put the names down below here, so you can. It is pronounced Pułapka, and they have a very great selection of beers at any given time. And the staff that I met was very helpful. I remember I had the Double Bastard Ale in Pułapka. It's quite pricey, even by Polish standards, and they I gave some of it to, it was the last bottle that they had, so I gave some of it to the bartender, and he was pretty happy about that. He never tried it before. So those are the two best places that I would really recommend that you look up. They're not too far apart, so it's like a 10-minute walk or something like that. And there are a bunch of other places, but I'll let you experience for yourself. Have a little fun walking around in Gdansk to see what pubs you like. They also have great food. This is the first time I ate boar. And yeah, so I tried maybe 30 or something different beers over the course of 5 days. I also picked up some awesome mead. One of them was an award-winning mead, and they're not expensive. They're like $12 or something like that, if you like US dollars. They're not pricey at all, and they are amazingly good. The ones that I picked up was about 16-ish% in alcohol, and they were very, very, very dark in color, and they resembled sherries in texture and a little bit in aroma and the intensity of the spices. So I recommend picking up mead. Poland is known for mead making. Now, the other part was I promised to get back to you with. I made my first attempt of a whiskey porter. Now, this is quite some time ago now. This is more than 3 years ago that it was brewed, I think, or around 3 years ago anyway, and it was based on a kit, Cooper's Dark Ale, which is a very good base kit to work with if you want to do stuff like this. So I think I remember putting probably a little bit of Belgian candy sugar in it, so you get a hint of sort of molasses and stuff like that. I also remember putting star anise in it. At the time I thought it was a bit too much, but I've sent a bottle of the stuff. I kept it with me while I was moving, and I was aging it for almost 3 years, and then I sent it to the guy who helped me with the recipe. So he's a YouTuber, so as soon as he has something up on that, I will let you know. He told me he did a tasting video of it, so I think it will be up at some point. So, furthermore, I've joined this beer club, and they have facilities where you can brew. They have equipment you can brew on. The very first batch that I didn't use more than their mash tun. So on Monday this week I made 2 batches because I was making such a big beer. I was making a Baltic Porter, which is in remembrance, to the trip to Poland I did two and a half years ago, and so now I wanted to make one, and the OG of this beer was 1090, which means that there was a lot of sugar left in the grain bed even after the first sparge. So I did a second sparge of the grain bed. This is referred to as party guile. You can Google that or look it up. So it's not something I made up. It's widely known to use that technique. And so I sparged another 30 liters or so through the grain bed, and I ended up with 20 more liters in the fermenter, which is going to turn out somewhere around 4.5 to 5% ABV beer. So that's nice. So we have regular meetings at the beer club, and I'm also trying to get a foot in the door with a local homebrew shop, and they're setting up a pub, which is going to open up around Easter. So that's pretty much what's going on. I'm going to join the guy who runs both the local homebrew shop and the beer club at the facilities tomorrow for a brew day. He's going to brew a mango marshmallow IPA. I asked him if I could bring the GoPro. I'm going to do some footage, and I think maybe I'll put something up on the channel from the brew day. So I'm going to leave it there for now. There's a whole bunch of things I'm involved in, and I got projects going on. I have a lot of ideas that I want to do, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do some shout outs at the end here. For all this time that I've been YouTubing, I've been thinking about, should I do another channel where I do everything in Norwegian, because I do know I have the odd Norwegian subscriber, but the vast majority are English speakers. So now I don't have to, because I ran into this YouTube channel called Øltid. So all of my Norwegian friends, if you are into brewing or thinking about brewing or have questions, how do you do this and that, go over to Espen's channel at Øltid. I'll put a link below. He has amazingly good videos where he explains stuff in an extremely easy to follow manner. Just go over there, subscribe to him. He's a great guy. He also has great humor in what he does. And also another shout out to Tony Yates for persistently creating good quality videos. I was watching his videos about water chemistry and adjusting your brewing water. Amazing stuff. I got the water book now from John Palmer. I'm reading that. I'm adjusting my water now just from watching his video. And also a shout out to Still It. Now Still It, I'll put a link below, is for those of you who are interested in fortifying your product further, which is distilling. It's legal in New Zealand where Still It works. So I find it very, very interesting to see the process and how stuff can be made. You know, there's a different process making whiskey than making, say, vodka. Or very hard spirits like over 90% ABV. You would want to use a reflux still, which you don't want to do if you're making, say, whiskey, because you want to preserve more of the flavor when you make whiskey. So it's a very very interesting channel. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to do one more sip on camera, and I'm going to take it easy because it's early in the day, and I just wish that you have yourself a beer in your hand while you're watching this, because this, I realize, became a lot of talking, but I had a lot of stuff to catch up on. I'll try to keep it shorter next time. Cheers. 17.
Technician's Brewery. Seriously random.